What's up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're actually driving to one of my midterm rentals, and I'm going to show you guys why I am literally the best midterm rental operator in the Central Valley, because I buy places that are a little bit different, a little bit more unique, and my car is driving for itself right now, which is kind of cool. And you can get here too when you get enough midterm rentals. I just sounded like a douche, didn't I? Perfect. You got to keep that. All right, so let me do that one more time. This doesn't look like grandma's house. This actually looks like a really hip urban place in the Central Valley, which is literally in the middle of nowhere. So tap in, watch this video, please like and share. I look forward to teaching you guys what to do in your midterm rental. All right, we made it. I got a yellow door. That's the first thing you got to make sure you look at. I mean, look at this yellow door. Come on in, folks. What's up, guys? So right now we're actually in my property that I purchased back in 2018 for $290,000. And back then, real estate obviously wasn't as crazy as it is now. And you're probably asking yourself, why did you spend $290,000 on a house, which I feel is pretty damn cheap, especially in those terms. And this property now that I'm sitting in is probably worth about $470,000 just in that, what is that, 1, 2, I'm not good at math. We're gonna have to do some kind of like bubbles popping out of my head right here where I don't know how to do math. But anyway, so over the last 2 or 3 years, this property's gained equity quite a bit. And I love this house because first off, when I purchased it, it was unique and I didn't have to do a whole lot of work. And you guys will see through here in a minute when we do a walkthrough of why I picked this property. A lot of it is still actually back to what it was in the 1950s. This was an Eichler home. As you guys can see by the windows back here, it's floor to ceiling windows. And this place is super cool in the aspect that it wasn't painted. The walls behind me weren't painted the color they are. I actually came in and did that. I should probably be an interior designer or something like that, but and actually the videographer mentioned that to me a second ago. Keep this in here because I should be an interior designer, which I kind of sort of am-ish, sort of-ish. But anyway, so I bought this house. My sole intention from purchasing this property was to make it an actual midterm rental, which you guys are sitting in it now. That's what it is, a midterm rental. And I ended up transitioning it into a short-term rental. We actually do both, what the hybrid model is, and I'll put a video link to the top up here, which actually shows my hybrid model and what that even means. But anyway, what I want to tell you guys and kind of walk you through my thought process when buying a property is I want to be close to hospitals, which I've talked about in previous videos. So this property right now that I'm next to, that I'm not next to, I'm actually sitting in right now, I'm about 1 mile from Doctors Medical Center, 2.5 miles from Memorial, which is right down the road, and then probably about maybe 10 minutes to 15 minutes from Emmanuel Medical Center in Turlock. And there's a Lodi Hospital, which is probably about, I'm going to say about 40 minutes from me. But my intention from this property is to get the locals that are coming here, the local travelers that are coming into this specific space, into Modesto or into Turlock, where they had a place that was going to feel like a home away from a home. And this property, if you actually really, if are here, and hopefully in the video you can kind of see what I'm talking about, it almost gives you like this 1950s hillside, Los Angeles, swanky vibe. And that was my thought from the very beginning. And I wish I had photos of this property so that you guys can actually see what it looked like from the beginning, because it was pretty freaking thrashed. And what I mean by thrashed is that there was popcorn ceilings. People were actually hiding this beautiful wood that is you're able to see on top. And they were just, I don't know who the heck was in here and decided to do that kind of stuff, but there were small things that just needed to be updated, which I ended up doing. We ended up refinishing the floors. We ended up putting new tile in the bathrooms, new tile in the kitchens, and we ended up exposing the wood throughout the entire house, not just in one specific space. Because again, they put popcorn ceilings, which I don't know why the hell they would do that, in a place with this beautiful wood. I mean, you gotta show it. Especially because this is like an Eichler style home. And I know these homes are hard to find, but you can still find properties like this today that are very similar of stature. And what I suggest doing is really start kind of focusing on these properties, because there's a lot of cookie cutters everywhere, you guys. You can buy a brand new build, and if you go on Furnish Finder or on Airbnb, you're gonna see a billion of the same type of property. And what I'm saying is don't be another freaking brick on the wall. Do something different, be unique. We're all unique in our own aspects, our own ways. And I think that when you're buying real estate, you gotta kind of expose that uniqueness in properties. Do you wanna stay at a place that's cookie cutter? I sure as hell don't. And a lot of nurses nowadays, they don't want to either. You gotta keep in mind, they're traveling from far locations to come to some random place like Modesto, to stay here for 3 months at a time. And what better feeling is it to work your ass off for 12 to 15 hours and then you come home to a place that's super chill, comfy, cozy, and it's not like every other place that you're ever gonna see. So this is one of the things that I do to make sure that I'm appealing to all the masses, in the sense that I want to make sure that I have a place that people are going to pay more for. And number two, where I'm creating an experience where they're not going to get staying with any other operator. And you guys are going to see in these photos again how it's such a different place. And I'll actually reference photos to you guys of Airbnbs and midterm rentals that are in my market on Furnish Finder that look like shit. Like, they just don't look good at all. They look like literally like the house was handed down to somebody from their grandmother and they decided to throw it online. You do not want to be one of those people, especially if you want to earn some more income. So we're going to walk you through, I'm going to show you a couple of things on what I love about this house, and we'll go from there. You guys, so design is one of the most important parts of anything you're doing in the short-term or mid-term rental space. And you're probably asking yourself, why does design even matter? These are just nurses that are coming here to work, but I just mentioned it a second ago. You want to be able to have exit strategies. And what I mean by that is, do you only want your property to be a mid-term rental? Do you only want it to be a short-term rental? In order to be a smart, intelligent investor, you have to think of these things ahead of time. And what we're basically doing behind this project or behind this property was, I had two exit strategies. First one being mid-term rental, where I can rent it to travel nurses for 30 days at a time or more. And the second, I can Airbnb this during downtimes, or when I don't have a nurse in here. I can actually utilize the Airbnb short-term rental space. And I think it's one of the smartest ways to build your business, especially keep revenue coming in as you have empty days and empty months. You fill those days with Airbnb. Now, if this place was a cookie cutter place, who the heck would want to rent this on Airbnb? And you guys all know that Airbnb is really the top of the level when it comes to unique places. Spaces that are different, spaces that have an experience attached behind them. Airbnb now has actually changed their policies where they're bringing every single property that is an experience to the very first page. So all the other owners are now left behind in the dust unless you have a property that has an experience. And guess what? Being in a 1950s vintage hilltop home is what? An experience. You guessed it. You're right. Kudos to you. If you didn't think that, you should be. So I highly suggest when you start thinking about design, hire a designer, hire somebody that's going to come in and actually look at what your property's canvas looks like and think about what the potential of that actually is. And what I mean by potential is, have somebody come in, look at what Airbnbs are performing in your market, look at what midterm rentals look like in your market, and create something that's different, that's unique, that's better than what you're seeing on the market, but also something that's going to be able to be changed into a short-term rental at some point, or potentially an exit strategy. And sometimes designers are not cheap. I'm not going to lie. Like, our design company, we charge X amount of money per square foot. I don't know if you guys actually want to learn a little bit more about the design, shoot me a message and I will talk to you about it. But the design aspect is so important because it will differentiate. Did I say that right? I said that right. Differentiate yourself from every other listing. Just like us, like I mentioned a while ago, we're unique individuals as people. We all have like our own stuff. There's no reason why your property should be any different. You want to have something that's going to stand out. It's going to be different. It's going to appeal to certain people. But specifically, again, we're talking about midterm rentals and travel nurses. Trust me, travel nurse loves being here. All right, you guys. So I'm going to talk to you about the numbers now. What I'm actually making in this place. So I bought this place for $290,000, and I think I was about a 4.5% interest rate back in 2018 or 2019. I can't remember what year I bought this place, but my mortgage payment's about $1,800 a month, and for water, sewer, garbage, gas, electrical, it's roughly about $500 a month. So 1,800 plus 500, what is that? 2,300? Am I right? Is my math on? 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Holy shit, I can do math. So $2,300 a month is what I'm paying, and that's again with water, sewer, garbage, gas, electrical, my mortgage insurance, all that stuff, all in $2,300 a month. This property brings me about $5,000 a month as a midterm rental, and sometimes around $6,000 to $7,000 as a short-term rental. So if you do the math on that, don't even get me started on math, you guys, because obviously I'm not the best at math. So that's $2,700 cash flow per month as a midterm rental. And I was mentioning to you guys before, my short-term rental, this place has a short-term rental during peak months, peak season, which is typically during the summer. I can make up to $7,000 sometimes, which cash flows me well over $3,500 just on a single family home in Modesto, California, rural in the middle of fucking nowhere. And you guys can do this stuff too. It's not rocket science. I am nobody special. I'm just a regular freaking guy wearing a hat in his 40s backwards to make myself look like I'm younger. But this is actually my style. So if any of you guys are knocking it, shame on you for, what is that? Izzy, are you laughing at me? My videographer's laughing at me right now. She's saying I'm an idiot and to quit talking. But that's my whole point of making this video is I gotta talk to you guys to kind of tell you what I have going on. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is a nerd in Central California, just like myself, can actually create a substantial business renting to travel medical professionals. And what I mean by renting to travel medical professionals is I don't take advantage of our standard nurses. I rent to the agencies that are actually employing the nurses. I rent to the hospitals. A lot of people will actually talk negatively to me, and here's a couple different, hopefully we can put them on the screen right now. People talk smack to me about taking advantage of nurses. That's not what I'm trying to do at all. In fact, I think healthcare workers are some of the bravest individuals on the planet Earth to deal with COVID and when nobody knew anything about it and dealing with people at the end of life. I worked in healthcare, so it's a tremendous responsibility to be involved in that, and there's no way that I would ever want to take advantage of people in that sense. Am I taking advantage of large corporations that are making tons of money? That's for you to decide. But for me, at this moment, the best bet and the best play is to work directly with these agencies, talking to recruiters, and building relationships with that way, because it brings more money into my pocket, and at the end of the day, the nurses aren't having to pay for it, the agencies do. So I just want to say thank you guys for watching this. One of the most important things that you could do for me is to like and share this with people that you resonate or you care about. I hope to see you in the next video. See you soon. Take care, stay safe. Leave some comments down below if you think this hat backwards makes me look a lot older than what I actually am or younger, or if you think my place is pretty badass and if you're looking for properties just like that. I appreciate you guys.